Stop what you're doing and tell me honestly. Have you ever been so hungry for success, so desperate to feel powerful, that you felt like you could just devour the person standing in your way? Because let me tell you, that feeling is the whole vibe of Olivie Blake's Girl Dinner, a book that takes the idea of feminine rage and turns it into the most twisted, high society potluck you've ever imagined. This isn't just a book about a sorority, it's a satirical, dark horror look at the impossible demands placed on modern women and the absolutely unhinged, bloody price of belonging. You are going to gasp. The story is told through two alternating perspectives, two women whose lives couldn't be more different on the surface, but who share one overwhelming common thread, a crushing sense of inadequacy and a burning hunger for something more. First, we meet Nina Kaur, a university sophomore who is reeling from a freshman year she'd rather forget. Nina is the classic aspirational student trying desperately to level up her life, and to her, the only ticket is the house. This isn't just any sorority, it's the society. Every alum is a picture of perfection, impossibly beautiful, wildly successful, and totally untouchable. Nina sees the house as her sanctuary, a place where a woman on her own won't be seen as easy prey. Her desire isn't just for prestige, it's a plea for security, a wish to be pre-selected for the brightest possible future. She's willing to do anything to join the fold, to learn the secret of having it all. Her part of the story is all about the grueling, performative, and psychologically manipulative process of rushing, where she's taught to be a perfect, polished weapon. She's watching the older girls and drinking in their perfection, desperate for that collective power. Then there's Dr. Sloane Hartley, an adjunct professor in her mid-30s who is having a full-blown identity crisis. Sloane is returning to work after 18 months of maternity leave, and she's a wreck. Her clothes don't fit. Her career is stagnant after taking a demotion to follow her husband, Max, and her mind is a landscape of perpetual paralyzing ennui. She's exhausted by the impossible standard of the good mother, constantly guilt-tripped for leaving her daughter, Isla, and furious that Max, her so-called girl dad husband, is so blissfully unaffected by the demands of parenthood. Sloane's chapters are an absolute masterclass in feminist internal monologue, dissecting the exhaustion and fury of being a woman who is constantly performing, constantly failing to measure up. When she's invited to be the house's academic liaison, she's immediately mesmerized by the alumni. They look like they've solved the equation of life, achieving that seamless, effortless perfection that Sloane craves. She's drawn in by a hunger that's less about a sorority and more about finding a roadmap back to her own self-worth. The first third of the book, which we can call the recruitment and education phase, is this brilliant, biting satire. We watch Nina plunge headfirst into the toxic, obsessive world of rushing, learning to mask her flaws, and embrace the ruthless ambition the sisters demand. Simultaneously, Sloane is befriended by Alex, a high-powered alumnae and fellow mom who seems to manage everything flawlessly. Sloane begins to rationalize the house's intense demands, seeing them not as a sorority, but as a genuine, revolutionary sisterhood, a coven of women who have found a way to truly succeed in a patriarchal system. The sisters teach them that the traditional girl dinner, a sad plate of snacks that symbolizes women surviving on scraps, is no longer acceptable. They deserve a feast, a real feast. As we move into the initiation phase, the red flags go up faster than you can yell, "Run!" Nina is fully committed, passing increasingly bizarre and manipulative tests designed to ensure her loyalty and break her ties to the outside world. She's learning to wield her femininity as a weapon, convinced that the bloody costs of the sisterhood are a necessary price for freedom. Her ambition is now a terrifying, unblinking glare. For Sloane, the darkness comes from her realization that her husband, Max, is a bigger problem than she thought. His emotional distance escalates, revealing him to be not just a lousy partner, but a subtle gaslighter and an obstacle to her career. The alumnae, particularly Alex, subtly validates Sloane's growing feminist rage, confirming her suspicion that men like Max are the reason women are perpetually exhausted and underachieving. Sloane is intellectualizing her dissent, seeing their extreme, veiled actions as an indictment of the system, a justifiable form of rebellion. The house is giving her the emotional nourishment and validation her marriage and career never could. But then comes the moment, late in the book, where the satire takes a hard, horrific turn during the invitation phase. It's revealed to both women, separately, but leading to the same shocking conclusion, that the secret to the house's effortless success, their youthful looks, and their unbreakable power is cannibalism. Wait, what? Yes, the sisterhood has adopted a sinister new wellness trend, a centuries-old ritual where they hunt, sacrifice, and consume human flesh. But this isn't just indiscriminate murder, it's highly specific. They target men in positions of power who have actively wronged or oppressed women, predatory professors, abusive bosses, corrupt officials, and yes, even negligent, emotionally manipulative partners. The consumption is a literal transfer of power, an act of eating your fill and absorbing the strength and influence of the patriarchy's foot soldiers. They are literally feasting on the people who have been eating away at women's lives. This is when the title girl dinner stops being a cute meme reference and becomes a pitch black punchline. The final section, dinner, is the horrific climax. Nina, having proven her unwavering dedication, is formally invited to the table. For her, this is the ultimate affirmation. She has been desperate for a lifeline, and if this blood-soaked feast is the cost of security and ultimate success, she will pay it without a second thought. She is all in, viewing the act as her final, ruthless initiation into the ruling class. Her hunger is so vast that no moral boundary can stop her. Sloane's final choice, however, is the emotional gut punch. She is presented with the opportunity to join the feast, to consume the power of the men who have held her back. And the reader knows she's thinking hard about her useless husband, Max. Her rage is justifiable, her desperation is real, and the promise of that power is intoxicating. But in the final tense moments, her deep, raw, and fiercely protective love for her daughter, Isla, is the thread that keeps her grounded. She can't cross that line. She is not willing to become a monster for the sake of her own power, not when it means becoming something her daughter can't have a normal life around. The twist ending. Sloane rejects the literal act of cannibalism, but she doesn't reject the house. She accepts the dark complicity. She chooses to become an ally, a user of the power without being a consumer of the flesh. She will leverage the house's influence to quietly manipulate her own life, securing her tenure, ensuring Max is dealt with, not murdered, but professionally and socially neutered, and creating a space where she and Isla can thrive. Nina, meanwhile, fully immerses herself, becoming another picture of terrifying perfection among the alumnae. The book wraps up with the disturbing realization that the women who succeed in this system are not the ones who dismantle it, but the ones who embrace the most extreme secret measures to survive within it. Sloane walks away, still struggling with the mundane pressures of being a woman, but now armed with a monstrous, powerful secret. She has chosen the lesser of two evils, sacrificing her moral clarity for a functional life, a profound, devastating comment on the cost of having it all. It makes you wonder, if the price of freedom is the unthinkable, what would you pay? That's the Tea on Girl Dinner, a story that will stay with you long after the final page. If this dark, delicious journey through female rage and sorority secrets got you hooked, please be sure to like this recap, leave a comment below telling me which character's journey shocked you more, and subscribe so you don't miss the next unhinged book breakdown.